Huge patch is coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ, and this will be the only patch coming out this year, 2019. Now, before anyone jumps the gun and starts saying the game is dying, my take on this is because the team is moving to FighterZ 2. Because I believe a sequel to Dragon Ball FighterZ is in the works. I mean, it's the most obvious move. After the success of Dragon Ball FighterZ, not making a sequel is just leaving money on the table. If they are working on a sequel, probably it's already under development, and this might just be moving some team resources, saying, hey, we got one final patch. This is how the game is going to be for the rest of 2019 because a lot of people need to move over to this new project. That's all speculation, obviously, but the fact that this is the only patch in 2019 makes it a very big deal. Every single patch note is extremely important because this is how the game is going to be played for the next 9 months. All characters are being affected. Every single character is present in this patch notes, and the patch notes were translated by Hit-chan. So big shout out for being an absolute beast and translating everything. Give this person a follow at HiagoXYZ on Twitter. Here are all the character changes. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but I am gonna go through the ones that seem like the biggest character changes. Obviously, to me, the biggest changes are to characters that I play, so I'm assuming you guys feel the same way. But I'm gonna focus on characters that will change the most or change the game the most, and not just my personal game. Besides, some notes like Gotenks here, his Galactic Donut has a new follow-up. What does that mean? We don't know. Some of these notes are kind of vague. Nappa Cybermen are gonna have a new effect too. But until we see what it is, I'm not really that scared. So if I don't mention the characters that you play, don't worry. I will show you this list again at the end of the video. So feel free to pause then and read the notes that I didn't go over. And the first change we're gonna mention is not even on this list, and it's to the raw tagging mechanic. Currently, if you hold forward and the assist button, he comes out really fast. As soon as I tap the assist button, he comes out immediately. If you want to tag him in without pressing forward, you have to hold down the button, and only after a while will the assist come out. This is going to change. The fast tag is not going to be forward and assist. It's actually going to be down and assist. If I do it now, it just calls the assist. But in the future, just tapping the button while holding down will actually call the assist. This is going to make it a lot safer to call assists because you're not holding forward, you know, the direction opposite that you should be holding when blocking. So it's going to make that a lot safer. I wonder if we're going to have to adjust a little bit, if it's going to mess with our muscle memory, because sometimes we're in a block string and we're hitting, I don't know, 2M and calling the assist at the same time. So maybe that will make us get rid of this cancerous muscle memory. Curse you! The next change we're going to talk about is Goku Black. Goku Black has two changes, like most characters in this patch notes. The first one is if you hold forward when using 5S, which is this move right here, a faster projectile is fired. Now, Goku Black actually has some decent O-key options when using this after a character knockdown, because since this is a normal, you can cancel it into a special, like, right? But only once it hits. The fact that the projectile is going to move faster means you're going to be able to cancel this faster as well and use this O-key recovery option from further away in the screen. Let's look at some examples. So stuff like this currently works. You can also do something like command grab. So he's gonna have these options, and they already work in the corner, but if you are further away from your opponent, they don't work as well. It's a lot harder to land something like this at full screen because the projectile is slow. Now with a faster projectile, he's gonna have these O-key options from pretty much any distance. And you can cancel into command grab, you can cancel into the spear, you can cancel into instant transmission and go for some mix-ups that way. And because the projectile is so big, it's gonna cover up text, it's gonna cover back text, tagging in place. It covers pretty much all the options. Besides, it's gonna be easier for him to combo into his aerial dive kick, which is potentially gonna open up some new combo routes, some new combo potential for Goku Black. Next up we have Zamasu, which pretty much they just said everything is buffed. Normal's buffed overall, including the 2H hitbox. So this is now gonna be the true 2H of the gods. Also, special note to 214S, which is his flying ability. His attacks during this are also buffed in this patch. So everything. Basically, they buffed everything about Zamasu. He's just powered up. Then we have Yamcha with kind of a scary change here. So Yamcha's Wolf Fang Fist. If you hit, you can follow up. So I'm gonna do the light here, follow up with a medium, and into heavy, right? That's just an example. You can follow up with multiple buttons. But if you whiff, let's do the light right here, I can't go into medium. I'm mashing it as hard as I can. Now, you will be able to follow up even if you whiff the Wolf Fang Fist ability. So, after whiffing, you could potentially follow up with anything. You can follow up maybe with a special to cross up, or try to cross up, but it depends on how far you are, maybe. Now, that on its own doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you pair that up with the next change, which is the fact that 214X can be followed up in the Wolf Fang Fist, then it makes it crazy. That's this move we're talking about, which is an anti-air move. So first of all, you're gonna be able to put this into your Wolf Fang Fist, so you could go 1, and then without this pause, go into this. And if you whiff the Wolf Fang Fist, you can still go into this afterwards. And what that basically means is, let's say you did a Wolf Fang Fist and the opponent jumped over it. Somehow you didn't hit because of this, I don't know. You can now cancel into this and catch an opponent off the air. Potentially put them in a sliding knockdown. So that's a very big and scary change for Yamcha. Next up is Hit, who can enter a stance and then follow up with a heavy attack, which is a cross-up. So this specific cross-up, which means this stance into the cross-up, not this one. This one doesn't seem to be changed at all. But this one with a cross-up is now gonna have an easier time following up with a combo, even mid-screen. So currently, the way it works is you do this, you vanish, and you continue the combo. I'm not a Hit player, as you can see. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, now it's gonna be easier to combo from that, which seems incredibly powerful. It does cost 1 bar, but it's a cross-up and apparently a free combo afterwards. That's not the biggest change that this guy has. The biggest change comes in this super. This super that no one uses anymore, especially ever since they buffed this one and its effect. This super, instead of consuming 1 bar of meter, as it does right now, it's gonna consume all of your meter. Doesn't matter how many bars you have, this super is gonna eat all of it, and it's gonna deal more damage depending on how many bars you actually have. That's a pretty big change. We'll see how much the damage buff is depending on the number of bars. I'm curious to see if it spends 3 bars. Does it actually deal more damage than a raw level 3? Or even a level 3 in a combo? I don't know why I said raw. Does it cause a hard knockdown? We'll see about the effects, but this is a very big change to Hit, because now he is a character with a level 1 super that could potentially just consume all 7 bars. Vegeta seems to be getting a pretty good buff. First of all, this ability is going to be faster, easier to put into combos, so when you're in a pretty big combo, let's say, like this would probably not drop anymore, but that's not exactly what I wanted to show you. Okay, this second one, it might be able to hit now, so that's gonna give Vegeta a lot more damage, but that's not even his biggest change. When you do his level 3 in the air, as you know, like a lot of rookies or a lot of noobs do this, the character can tech, which is bad, which is why a lot of people, you know, every good player brings the character back down to the ground before doing the raw level 3, because that will cause a hard knockdown, right? Doing a level 3 in the air, that's kind of a waste, because you lose that hard knockdown and you spend 3 bars. Unless you're killing your opponent, never do this. But after the patch, this might actually be the best idea, because even if you do the level 3 in the air, you will still get a hard knockdown. That's a pretty big buff to Vegeta, and that along this thing being faster, that's gonna increase his damage a lot. Vegeta also got a similar buff, but before we get to that, his command grab is now gonna be easier to use, easier to grab the opponent with any of these versions. You can also use it against the Vanish, which is a note that they added. I don't know why. Maybe it's because this is an anti-air, so you can do this on reaction to grab the opponent. Though I think there are better options for that. But if you use your final Kamehameha at the end of your combo, you will always guarantee a knockdown. So similar to Vegeta, if you do it on the ground, you get a hard knockdown, it's pretty good. But if you do it in the air, he's gonna tech out of it and you're gonna lose the hard knockdown. So this ends up being pretty much a waste unless you're killing the opponent. Now, you can just do it in the air and you will still guarantee the hard knockdown, which is beautiful. Next up we have Captain Ginyu, and Ginyu's change seems to be pretty significant. Basically, when he summons his assists, he goes through this rotation, he summons Goldo, he summons Rikum, Barter, and Jaice. So now, the assists will have two different patterns, and they do give some examples. First of all is summoning Goldo from further away, so maybe it won't be in front of Ginyu, it will be behind Ginyu. Berta attacking from ground height, so he already attacks from ground height, so I'm not really sure what that means. Yeah, that's a pretty big change. Then the way I'm interpreting this is his assist. So when you just press the special button, and not exactly when you do the command. For instance, this command for Goldo, this command for Raccoon. So like, the way I interpret these patch notes is just for when you press the button and not actually do the command input. But I could be wrong, we'll see. That's a pretty big change to Ginyu though, like he's not just gonna have one rotation with his assists. That basically gives all of these 4 Ginyu characters an extra attack. Potentially. We'll see what the final change is, but that does sound pretty exciting for Ginyu players. Next up is Android 21, who can now follow up her command grab with her dive kick ability. So these two abilities, you will be able to chain them together, and if you play Android 21, you know that this is the ability that you use to extend. So potentially you could even do command grab. Oops, yeah, now I have the ability. You could potentially even do command grab, and after command grab follow up with, for instance, dive kick assist. And potentially continue the combo. So a combo starter from the command grab without using a vanish, that is a pretty big deal. That is, if you have the command grab available, because you might just have an ability. So if you have an ability, you might also be able to follow up with the dive kick knee thing. And that is part of, I think, what the mindset for the 21 buffs are, because the next patch note says that you can only use the absorbed special move once, but they've all been buffed. So when you absorb a move, Trunks here, for instance, it's the Ki Blast Rush, right? So after you use the Ki Blast Rush, the move will be gone. So that kind of encourages you to use the moves more often, I think, because if you have them, why not spend them? And also it's to, I think, give Android 21 players the grab again. So right now, if you want to get rid of that ability and use the grab again, you have to throw this ball, spend a bar of meter, and then you can use the grab again in block strings and stuff. What I've seen Android 21 players asking for is if I do the command, so quarter circle forward and the special attack button, and hold the attack button, make that the grab. So that, I think, is what Android 21 players have been asking for the longest time. This is kind of a good compromise in my opinion, but I don't play 21. So yeah, after the patch comes out, you use this ability once, it's gone. You can now use the command grab again. Finally, we have Big Boy 16 with probably the scariest change in these patch notes. First of all, jumping 2H is an overhead, so you'll be able to use this in block strings and stuff. You cannot really follow this up in any way, and there are no mentions of this changing its effect. So it's really just going to be a little bit of chip damage because you can't really follow this up with anything. But hey, it's a new overhead, so maybe with some specific assists you'll be able to extend this. The really scary thing about Android 16 is that it's jumping quarter circle forwards, medium, and heavy attacks. These command grabs in the air, both of these, the medium and the heavy, will be able to follow up into a combo by himself. So he's not going to need assists if he puts this in a combo, which you can totally do right now, even on mid-screen. If I just do like a basic Android 16 combo. 1, 2, 1, 2, bam. Missed. There's a little delay, but you can totally do it. And if you do this version of the command grab, you will be able to follow up without any assists. So that's kind of insane. Sometimes you're comboing with Android 16 and you just used an assist and the assist is on cooldown, but now you can just go and continue the combo yourself, go back into the air. The assist will be recovering, hopefully, maybe not, but you will be able to extend without using assists when using the medium attack version of the command grab. Only the quarter circle forward, the quarter circle backwards is going to remain the same, so this upwards grab, and only the jumping version, obviously. I mean, the grounded version works very differently, but you could potentially do the grounded version of this, call an assist, and from here you could potentially extend with your second assist or not, I don't know. This might open some new combo routes, some new combo potential, and more importantly, it will give Android 16 his full combo even if he only has one assist left. Now that is one heck of a buff. And those are, at first glance, the biggest changes coming in this patch. Obviously, once the patch comes out, a lot of these changes that don't seem scary could actually be scary, and the other way around could also work. The patch is going to come out next week on March 27th, and you can rest assured because we will be breaking it down. We will be covering the patch here on the channel. So stay tuned for more. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, but as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.